So this video is going to be just a little bit different. The truth about DJI's Osmo 360 1-inch 360 sensor branding isn't what you think. A closer look at the leaked specs and math tells a different story, especially when you line it up against the Insta360 X5. In today's deep dive, we're going to be breaking down sensor tech and real-world trade-offs that actually matter for creators. So let's jump in. So leaks from retail packaging and early reviews have finally settled the debates on the Osmo 360's sensor setup. Rather than the rumored dual 1-inch sensors, DJI's Osmo 360 uses two 1/1.3-inch type sensors. Now, here's the catch. DJI's marketing claims that these sensors give you a 1-inch 360 sensor area, but the numbers simply don't add up. A single 1-inch sensor provides about 127.9 square millimeters of surface area. So two smaller sensors would need to be around 64 millimeters squared to reach that combined size. But in actuality, the sensor area for a 1/1.3-inch sensor is less than that, making that 1-inch branding more about marketing than technical reality. And still, it's not unusual in this industry for specs to get stretched, but clear math tells a different story than packaging. Now, I'm no giant fan of Insta360, and I love DJI products, but we have to be clear about this. The Insta360 set up the X5 with dual 1/1.23-inch type sensors, which are physically larger than the Osmo 360's dual 1/1.3-inch sensors. Each of these 1/1.23-inch sensors measures approximately 9.9 millimeters diagonally, which means you're getting more real estate compared to DJI's approach. And this isn't a trivial spec sheet detail. Those extra millimeters can improve the sensor's low light ability, enhance shadow detail, and deliver smoother highlight roll-off. Bigger sensors gather more light, plain and simple. The physics don't lie. And in a challenging 360-degree situation where lighting can get very tricky, that advantage can matter. And while both the X5 and the Osmo 360 use advanced software to maximize output, the X5 starts with a stronger hardware foundation, even if it's not massive. Now, if sensor names and types and sizes and measurements confuse you, you are not alone. The system hasn't changed much since the Vidicon tube days. And the result is that names mean little without real numbers. For reference, the so-called 1-inch sensor is about 127.9 millimeters squared. A 1/1.3-inch sensor is about 69.63 millimeters squared, while a 1/1.23-inch sensor comes in at about 86 millimeters squared. The bigger the area, the better the sensor performance in low light and dynamic range situations. Larger formats like Micro Four Thirds and APS-C are a leap beyond these 1-inch class chips, which is why pros still prefer them for high-stakes shoots. Marketing often exaggerates sensor advantages, but actual area is what counts. So take that into account the next time you see 1-inch thrown around with little context. But inside each of those sensors is the pixels themselves. So let's dive deeper into what a pixel means, or at least what the size of a pixel means, in practical use. Take the Osmo 360's 1/1.3-inch sensors. If we assume 60 megapixels, because it's been advertised as 120 megapixels in 360, so that's 60 megapixels per sensor spread out across that 63.95 millimeters squared size, each pixel is about 1.03 microns. Contrast that with a typical 1-inch sensor where those pixels can range between 1.4 and 2.4 microns. Smaller pixels collect less light, which means more noise, less dynamic range, and diminished highlight handling, especially when you're shooting in the dark. But here's the twist. Software, especially AI denoising, can now enhance quality to a surprising degree, letting small sensors do much more than their physics would traditionally suggest. Still, it's always a compromise. On-camera AI is rewriting the sensor quality rulebook. Advanced chips now handle everything from real-time noise reduction to computational raw processing, making it possible for cameras like the Osmo 360 to match or even best large sensor rivals in some circumstances. The wisdom of older pixels always win isn't always true anymore, but as we see more and more of these computational photography capabilities get placed in larger and larger devices like Micro Four Thirds, APS-C, full frame, and eventually medium format cameras, we'll start to see a significant improvement in quality in those cameras as well. Still, AI can only go so far. Physics always sets some boundaries. To add additional complexity, we're pretty sure, because of the resolution here, that we're dealing with a quad Bayer sensor. similar to what we have in the Mavic 4. So you've seen those 120 megapixel sensor numbers in 360-degree camera promotions, but context is everything. The underlying tech is a quad Bayer array, where each group of 4 subpixels is combined or split for better low light sensitivity and color accuracy. While this helps with dynamic range, it also means that you're not actually getting 120 million points of genuine detail. The effective or downsampled resolution is always less than the headline figure. Now, this isn't unique to DJI, it's industry-wide. Marketing inflates numbers, but your actual sharpness depends on how your image processing is combined with data. If you spot odd softness or artifacts, aggressive supersampling is likely at play.
Real quick, I want to break into this video to say thank you. Thank you to everyone who participated in my Instagram giveaway. I now have over 1,200 followers. We've hit our goal. I've also got over 21,000 subscribers here on YouTube, and I couldn't have done it without any of you. I can't do any of this without all of you. So I really want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Now, I'm in the process of putting my gear list together so that we can start the giveaway, and I'll be announcing a live video to do that very soon. In the meantime, if you want to continue following me over there on Instagram, I'm active and I can always use the help. If you want to support me even more, you can become a member of the channel, or you can follow me on Facebook or TikTok, where I'm still trying to grow. But that's it. I just want to say thank you. Now back to the video.
Additionally, we are likely going to be getting dual gain ISO in this camera, similar again to what we've seen in some of DJI's drones. It's a layered approach where the sensor reads out each frame twice, once to capture shadow detail and once for highlight retention. Now, if DJI uses this to help the Osmo 360 recover more range between bright and dark areas, we'll likely see a boost in dynamic range. Plus, faster readouts minimize motion artifacts and better suit quick burst shooting that you see in action cameras. In real-world shooting, this dual gain puts more tonal range in your images, but you don't want to expect a miracle here, especially in truly extreme lighting or with extremely fast-moving subjects. Hardware is still going to be the bottleneck, but if they can pull off multi-exposure blending in motion at high frame rates, that would be a significant upgrade, especially for compact sensors.
Real quick, if you're enjoying the content here, I'd really appreciate it if you become a channel member. You'll get access to my Lightroom preset packs, my LUTs, as well as custom motion graphics that I've created for myself as a photographer here on YouTube. You'll also get priority comments, early release videos, live VIP videos, and chat. But first, I want to take you through just a few of the Lightroom presets that we have in the Spring Tone kit. This has been the pack that I've been using all spring when shooting my clients, starting with Daybreak, which brings just kind of a warmth to the image, as well as Glow Line, which is just a little bit cooler. I also love Tidefall, which kind of deepens things, really separates out the background, and Sunset Veil, which is again a little bit more on the cool side, but I really, really like this preset. So again, if you want to support the channel and what I'm doing here, go ahead and become a member. You'll get that LUT pack for free. I'm not selling that anywhere. And again, it is $1 to become a member. Thanks so much.
But getting back to the sensor size itself, here's where the marketing is really kind of trying to pull a fast one on us. Branding it as a 1-inch 360 sensor when it's actually two 1/1.3-inch sensors stitched together using AI doesn't feel good. And don't get me wrong, seamless digital stitching has come a long way. Edges are less noticeable, blending looks better than ever, but no matter how clever the software, you can't simply double up small sensors and replicate a single big sensor's performance. The gap between the branding and the real world becomes obvious to anyone looking closely at specs or sample images. So Insta360's X5 has the 1/1.2 inch or 9.9 millimeter sensors. Osmo 360 coming in at 1/1.3 inch, which is a 9.6 millimeter diagonal sensor. But with that said, both cameras are going to be deploying impressive software corrections to narrow the gap under typical conditions. In bright lighting, differences may be subtle, but in low light or challenging environments, larger hardware usually wins out. For users, workflow, speed, and software support are often just as important as maxing out the sensor size. And sometimes incremental sensor gains matter less with a seamless post-process system. Additionally, when all is said and done, price matters. DJI's Osmo 360 is positioned as a more budget-friendly option than the Insta360 X5, appealing to creators who want good enough features without breaking the bank, combined with DJI's magic of software. But the trade-off is pretty straightforward. You'll make some concessions in sensor size and imaging, but you get smoother value packaged ecosystem and an easier workflow. So if you're prioritizing premium image quality and just raw performance, especially if you're a pro, the Insta360 X5 and its larger sensors are going to make more sense. And for most beginners or social media content creators, the Osmo 360 compromises are less of a deal breaker. Just don't buy into the 1-inch marketing. The sensor areas truly are not equivalent. So that's it for me. I just had to get that off my chest. If you want to support what I'm doing here, consider becoming a channel member for $1 a month. If you're looking to book a photo or video session, all the details are below, including my free mini sessions, along with gear and deal lists and everything that I use here in the studio to make my videos. Those links do go to help the channel, but as always, the easiest way to support what I'm doing here is to hit the like and subscribe button. It's free and it goes a long way to helping me grow. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. What size this one is?